Hi, I'm Dr. Kimberly Lentz. I'm really excited that you're here today to go over some of the recent tests that you had done at your health screening. I'd like to just review the biometric measures that you had done. The first one is your blood pressure. The normal blood pressure should be under 120/80. If your numbers are starting to go higher than that, then there are some things that you need to start doing. You should take these numbers to your doctor so that, number one, they can confirm that your blood pressure is elevated. Sometimes we get nervous if we're at a health screening or things like that. It could make our blood pressure be elevated, and it's not elevated all the time. Also, if you've noticed that your blood pressure is elevated, it might not be a bad idea to have it checked at other times. For example, if you go to the grocery store and they have a blood pressure cuff there, you might take your blood pressure, write it down, and then you'll have a number of blood pressure readings that you could take to your doctor and say, hey, this is what my blood pressure's been doing. And then he would do a check in his office as well. If your blood pressure is significantly elevated, they may make dietary changes or they may recommend medications. If you have any elevation of your blood pressure, you should let your doctor know. The other measurements that we do are around your weight. So you had a body mass index, you had a body fat percentage, and you had a hip to waist ratio. These are all different parameters that we can do to try to assess your risk of being overweight. If these are all normal, then you probably don't have anything to worry about. But if one or more of these are out of the range of normal, it could mean that your weight is inappropriate for your height, and it could put you at increased risk for diabetes or heart disease down the road. When you look at the numbers, you kind of have to look at them as a whole and as an individual. For example, body mass index. People who are bodybuilders and muscular and like your professional bodybuilders, they may have a really high body mass index because they have a lot of muscle mass, but they're not very tall maybe. So their body mass index may look really high, but they obviously don't have any fat to worry about. So you wouldn't put as much weight on a body mass index in that person. Whereas the body fat percentage actually measures the percentage of fat in your body. So in an individual like that who has a lot of muscle mass, his body fat percentage may be a better indicator of the fat content in his body as opposed to the body mass index. The hip to waist ratio is really a strong predictor of heart disease. So if your hip to waist ratio is off, if it's greater than the ones that we have listed on your report, then that could mean that you have more abdominal fat, and that just in and of itself will put you at risk for diabetes and heart disease. So if these parameters are off, you should take these to your doctor so that he can make recommendations and see if there's any further testing that you need to have done to assess your weight and your cardiovascular risk as you move ahead.